All right, for more, let's bring in Fast Money friend Gene Munster. He's a managing partner at Deepwater Asset Management. Gene, great to have you with us. What is your take on the quarter and your reaction to the stock move?
Melissa, this was the most sobering outlook that I have seen from Tesla when they talk about a step down, a notable step down in growth rates. I just want to put that in perspective. The street was looking for 19% revenue growth in 2024 for this year, and they said it'll be notably lower than that. So it probably comes in at 10%. When I see that, I think stock's down 5–10%. That was my initial reaction. I'm surprised to see where it is. The reason why I believe it's holding in is twofold. You highlighted the importance of the gross margin ex credits. I would just add to that, that's the first time in a year that we've seen that improve. And so that is a surprise on the positive side, especially given the ramp of Cybertruck, some of that investment. And second, I think the stock reaction speaks to the conviction of shareholder investor base. And effectively, this comes down to a very simple question. Do you believe that EVs are the future? And if the answer is no, that you think that this is going to take 20 years to get to electrification and autonomy, then you believe the stock should be down measurably, meaningfully, 10% more on this news. But if you do believe in the future, then this punky, soft guidance that they're giving for this year is going to ultimately prove to be noise, because everything that Tesla's doing, building out this next generation vehicle platform, everything that they've done in their investments in autonomy, all of that is coming at a time where traditional auto is stepping back from these. And so that's the question. If you believe in electrification and autonomy, Tesla's actually in a better position longer term. And I think that the reaction to shares speaks to the conviction, long-term conviction that Tesla shareholders have.
Can you help us understand, Gene, what this next-gen vehicle platform is and what that gives Tesla in the long term? I mean, we may see that step down in volume growth this year, but on the other side of that, if we see increased efficiencies, if we see increased output, this could just, you could smooth this year over and see the trajectory higher.
You'd see an acceleration back potentially. I mentioned the 10% for this year, but next year could be 30% plus growth. And the specifically is that this is a lower price vehicle, likely around a Honda Accord. A typical Honda Accord in the U.S. starts at $30,000. That's below the average selling price of a car in the U.S. at $48,000. And it's likely going to be a couple vehicles. One is a lower price car with a steering wheel, and then followed by a robo-taxi. And so that's what they're talking about. They need to build enough of a gap between the Model 3 and this lower price vehicle, not to create some confusion. So this is going to be, again, a measurably lower priced vehicle and compete with where the sweet spot of the growth in the automotive market is today.
Hey, Gene, it's Karen. Thanks for being on with us today. So I've always had trouble with how do you value Tesla then? Put it all together. How do you come out with a valuation for Tesla?
So what I look at is where the revenues are going to be in 3 to 5 years. I want to revisit it after the call here, but think about what that revenue growth is going to be. I mentioned a step back up to 30%. And then I go and look at what other companies are trading at. The best comp is Apple. When it comes to hardware, software, services, I think that's most representative of Tesla. And so that's a 6 or 7 times multiple. And so when I put those two together, I can comfortably get to above a $1 trillion market cap for kind of that 5-year period. Again, I want to see what's going on with their commentary on kind of long-term growth. But that's how I get there, as I think about this as a revenue multiple relative to where the revenue is going to be in 3 to 5 years.